There is so much to talk about. This world is going crazy, and it's so much fun to watch it unfold on the internet. We have another tweet cap for you. Ryan Page and Rocky Palmieri is here. What's up, guys?
That was incredibly nihilistic, Matt. The world is unraveling, and it's so much fun to watch it online. Is that the
Well,
tagline for
I'm
I
these
just
like it.
being
episodes?
honest. I'm just being honest.
I
It's
like it.
true. It's true. How's it going, Matt?
Not too bad. It's already mid-May, guys. It's
Oh, yeah.
2023. Isn't that nuts?
That
I'm
is
doing well
crazy.
too, but whatever.
What'd you say?
You only said, "How's it going to Matt?"
How's it going, Rocky?
Oh, it's too late. Never mind.
Okay.
Man,
I
Ryan. Well,
asked. It's on the record.
chivalry's is dead when you had that,
Chivalry.
but I don't know.
Rocky's a damsel.
We'll make it
In
up for it.
distress, yes.
Oh man, where do we start in the world of Twitter, or what's trending in this world? I want to talk about I want to start off with two people. First things first. It was announced today, the 15th of May, that it was released. Martha Stewart, at 81 years old, is one of your let me restart that. Martha Stewart, at 81 years old, is one of your Sports Illustrated swimsuit models, right on the front cover with Megan Fox. And she's showing that anything is possible, even in older senior years. That is awesome. Great to see Martha Stewart with her very artistic photographs. And she is now the oldest person to ever grace the SI swimsuit model. And who would have thought, from this amazing cook having some legal troubles and coming back from there, doing
Some
that show
legal
with Snoop
trouble.
Dogg. And now she's now she's a swimsuit model. What do you guys think about this profound moment in swimsuit model history?
Well, okay, a couple things to unpack, mostly being swimsuit model history, but um, you've seen it obviously. I have it up to make sure I was thinking of the right one. It's like mostly just a picture.
Hold on, I need to Google it really quick.
She's like, so for those of you, this is of course an audio platform, but I'll try my best.
Also on YouTube,
Um,
so they will see
oh,
it.
so you'll be
Yeah.
able to see it. Okay, so if you're not watching on YouTube, she's obviously in a bathing suit, but she's got like this very long, flowy orange. I don't want to say cape. I'm sure there's a better, more fashionable word for that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it looks like a normal photo, which is fine. I mean, she is 81 years young. So
I had no
obviously
idea.
you want to, it's different than what Megan Fox's photo shoot's going to look like. That's just a fact.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think I mean, it adds a lot of star power to the magazine, right? You want people to read your magazine. I
Especially in
think
a
it
world where
used,
nobody reads magazines, physical
well, yeah.
ones.
And I do think part of it, this is, of course, really cynical. I think used to be that just an attractive person on a magazine would get magazine sales. Um, Obviously, I don't think that works anymore, nor maybe it shouldn't. I think what's in the magazine should matter more. But I do think Martha Stewart is probably, going viral for being on the cover is going to be enough to push a couple more people to pick up the magazine and take a look at it, just again for the novelty factor. So I say good for everyone involved. Sell a few more copies, make a little more money. But it's not racy. So if any of you freaks out there
Oh
looking for
no.
racy Martha Stewart 81-year-old pictures, it's not racy. It's very, very, as Matt said, artsy. It's tastefully done. Just mostly it's like, honestly, I could see that same picture in like any of the other countless magazines that Martha Stewart has been on the cover of.
Yes.
Like it was very, it was very, 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 not what you expect from a swimsuit magazine. So I think that get your head out of the gutter, folks. But yeah, good for her. I'm glad she's getting paid.
No, it's weird.
Oh,
It's
already.
weird. She's too old. I'm sorry. You don't need 80-plus-year-old people modeling swimsuits for Sports Illustrated. It just looks weird. I just Googled it. It's odd.
That odd.
It's not that odd.
Thing.
Geriatric people in swimsuits,
She
you
does.
don't
She
want to see
looks
that.
I
fine.
will say she doesn't look 81. I
Yeah,
didn't know she was that old. I was pretty shocked to hear that.
It's a weird photo.
you
It's
are.
weird.
You're
No,
just trying to dig
it's
in to make
weird.
something different happen.
It's
That's what you're doing.
weird.
No,
I
it's
mean,
not
aren't these
weird.
people supposed to be like athletic and
No,
stuff like that?
they're supposed to be in a swimsuit. I believe the
Allegedly.
I believe the requirement is wear a swimsuit. Correct?
I don't get it.
They're not they're not pro athletes, right? They're always models.
I don't know.
Most of the time,
I
they
don't pay
have thrown
attention to that
athletes
kind
here
of
and there,
stuff.
but
Yeah. Well, because I get what you're saying. Sports Illustrated, like, oh, maybe it's supposed to be an athlete, and if that were the case, yeah, that would be weird. Martha Stewart is not an athlete. Doesn't matter how good or not good anyone looks. Either you are a professional athlete or you're not. But they don't. It's not. They don't always do athletes, so I don't think it's weird. You know.
Nah,
But
it's weird. She's too old.
I don't think so. I think you're wrong.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think you're wrong. Look at the picture
okay.
again. Look at the picture again.
I just looked at it. It's just gross. I don't need to see
Matt
that.
is going to put the picture up right now on the podcast. Maybe not. I don't know. But if he hasn't now, he'll do it before.
Yeah, continue. You were saying
everyone's going to see it. And everyone's going to be like, this is like a normal picture. You could see this, not like Vanity Fair because they do like the crazy things, but like any of like those home and style magazines or lifestyle people, this is a normal magazine cover. Like she's wearing.
I am posting it right now. Sorry to interrupt. Right on YouTube, right here with her outfit.
Yeah, that's it's just weird. Her in a little shawl, sitting outside. You wouldn't even honestly if you didn't say Sports Illustrated swimsuit. Well, yeah,
that's
that one so much, but
not that one. That one doesn't fit your narrative, so we're not going to talk about.
We're talking about the cover.
Dude, I'm showing some other ones. Oh, the cover. This is the most risque.
That one actually fine. That does not look 81 years old at all.
That's just weird.
No,
you
it
don't
doesn't.
need someone that old modeling like that.
Well, who cares? There's no problem.
The problem is it's
no problem.
Again, no problem.
Problemless.
I mean, then
There's
why
no
is
problem.
it historic? Then why is it historic?
Because they've never had someone that old before.
Why?
Well, maybe no one at 81 has looked like Martha Stewart.
No one.
I don't know. I don't work at Sports Illustrated, but
I guarantee you there are people that have looked at Martha Stewart before that are been 81.
Were they as famous
as
Martha?
There's a reason that they aren't on covers until
were they Martha famous?
I mean,
Martha's very famous.
What's that famous designer that's super old?
I don't know, but if you don't know her name, she's not Martha famous.
Anna Wintour?
I don't know designers very well.
So. Designers are typically not particularly attractive people. That's a true statement, and I'm willing to let designers come at me for that. I'm
Wang. She's like 150 and she's still in like swimsuits.
Sure, she looks good too, doesn't she? If I'm not mistaken.
I mean,
I've seen her things. I mean, also, who cares? Their goal is to sell the magazine. If Martha Stewart sells magazines, then she's achieved her goal. She could look like me. If putting me on a Speedo for Sports Illustrated would sell magazines, they'd be stupid not to do it.
Slap the word historic on it, and yeah, they'll sell
historic.
But they didn't.
They have to say brave. They have to say brave too.
Brave historic.
What? Or is it Megan Fox also in this magazine?
Megan Fox is very brave to go on.
This is not magazine. I think Matt added historic. I don't believe Sports Illustrated is running with historic.
I think they actually are.
No. She really is the oldest.
I know that. Really no, I'm saying I don't think they're being like. I don't believe Sports Illustrated is like buy our historic magazine.
They are.
They're not.
I'm pretty sure they are.
I promise you, they're not because Megan Fox is in the magazine. But I'm saying, if I was on the magazine and I sold millions of copies, then they wouldn't care that I look the way I do. They wouldn't care that I have a body for radio. They would just care that they sold a bunch of magazines. That's it. That's all that matters. So I say good for Martha, good for Sports Illustrated.
Hey, I have one right here from the Today Show's article.
Well, that's the Today Show, not Sports Illustrated.
I was just saying, they say it's literally historic.
What is? She's the oldest.
Yeah.
Is it historic or isn't it? You're
I didn't say it wasn't. I just said they're not marketing it as historic.
Do you think it's historic though?
I mean, it is the first time in history. So by those very, very, very narrow parameters, sure. Do I think the world would have continued to spin unaltered had Martha Stewart said, "I'm actually busy next Tuesday. I can't be in your magazine"?
I have a Snoop Dogg show.
Yes, exactly.
Literally the first sentence in the Sports Illustrated article.
The Sports Illustrated magazine can't make history. It's a magazine.
The oldest cover model in the publication's history. So they don't say the word historic, they say history. It's the same thing.
No, those are two different words.
But first, that's beside rage.
First in their history semantic. And historic.
Yes,
like
it is the
first.
Thing. That's just a fact. The first would make it.
Thing.
the first in history would be historic by those narrow parameters that Matt said at the top.
In the first sentence of the article where
But
they announced that she's on the cover.
Historic doesn't need to be like this groundbreaking thing. It just means the first time in history, which is true. It's just a true statement.
So the first time in history doesn't mean historic, but
I'll be
historic
honest
means
with
first
you.
time in
This is the
history.
most I've cared about a magazine, and it's only to counter the fact that you care way too fucking much about this magazine.
I don't care about it.
I think
I'm
Dalf
not gonna
protests
buy
too
it.
much.
I'm not gonna buy it. I don't buy magazines.
Everyone buy the magazine.
And go ahead, buy it all you want. I don't care.
Buy the magazine.
I'm just saying that I
Everyone
think
buy
it's
the
a
magazine.
bizarre
Buy
move,
two.
and to say that it's normal is just a little weird. I
Not
don't
weird.
see many 80-year-olds posing in swimsuits.
As long as they make their money, who cares?
I don't know what you're looking at where 80-year-olds are posing in swimsuits is normal, but
I don't
think it's a
look at
little odd.
swimsuit magazines. It's
Except-
2023. No one does. That's why they put Martha Stewart on the cover.
Except the old lady from WWE, they used to put finishing moves over, but then she got canceled.
Oh, Fabulous Moolah?
I'm pretty sure she's definitely.
She didn't look like Martha Stewart, though.
That's true, too.
Not even close.
Oh, man, guys. If we want to talk about more people who've been in the public eye for a long time and making big headlines, why don't we talk about this? Two-time Academy Award winner Robert De Niro announced last week that at the age of 79 years old, he had his 7th child. How about that? First things first, is this great for Robert De Niro? Is this inspiring, or is this really inappropriate? At 79 years old.
I'm going to go first, Rocky.
It's weird.
Hold on. I'm going to go first. I just offended Martha Stewart now for however long however long that internal thing lasted between me and Rocky. This is weird. I know I just said you're never too old, search for your bliss, and I guess all of that's true. This is a bit strange. Look, when you look at it, he's got the money, so the child is not going to be in a bad environment in terms of they will have everything that they want to growing up, I'm sure, except for probably dad, but other than that, they will, they'll be taken care of. So it's not like irresponsible, but it's just at some point you'd think you'd want to slow down, right? Like, I don't know. This is probably, I like Robert De Niro. I have to assume he was not a hands-on parent for any of his kids at any point, even when he was a younger man. I don't know this, but this is just my gut feeling considering how long he's been famous. No, I definitely don't. He's still working, dude. He's in that movie with
Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yeah. So no, he's still working. I don't believe he's going to be more hands-on at 79. I think the difference is he's set up a parenting style that is very, laissez-faire parenting. And so it's okay at 79 that, time will be limited because time was limited even at peak De Niro. I feel like time with his kids was probably limited. This is all speculation. I could get in so much trouble. I've never met Robert De Niro. This is just a vibe I'm getting. That he seems to me as somebody who probably spent a lot more time in the studio, a lot less time at Little League. And so I don't think that will change very much. And so in that way, I guess, what's the difference? But it is weird. Also, how old was this woman?
The details of her haven't come out yet. I don't think so.
We're going to assume, right? Not that old based on biology.
If you Google Robert De Niro baby mama, what comes up?
I'll be honest. Is there more than one?
I don't know if that's the best way to phrase that.
There might be more than one. I don't know his full history of his children. So
okay, so the daughter is named Gia Virginia Chen De Niro. His girlfriend is Tiffany Chen.
Okay.
And I can't find how old she is. But this kind of relates to, Al Pacino. He's
they do relate very well, those two.
Yeah, he's 82 years old and he dates somebody who is 28 years old.
That's a money thing. Right? We can say that, I think. I think he knows that.
Maybe she genuinely loves Scarface.
I'm just gonna play that's also weird.
No, I think we can all agree that's a money deal. He wants a young girlfriend. She wants Al Pacino's money. 82. And so,
man,
I think we can agree to that.
Hollywood legends, it's like they could still
Also,
the
how
energy
come
to do
everyone's
such a
giving?
thing.
How come people are giving Leonardo DiCaprio so much grief over his dating history? We
Yeah.
got 79-year-old Robert De Niro is a new father. What is going on?
That's also weird though.
Let's save our collective internet outrage for things that matter, which is, by the way, none of this, because it's not hurting anybody. They're billionaires, right? Well, not billionaires. They're millionaires.
Now, what if Robert De Niro was on the cover of Sports Illustrated?
If he sold tickets, man, you start moving copies. But De Niro in a Speedo, whatever.
But this is probably why De Niro has made movies well into his, later years.
That's why
Some
Nick
are pretty
Cannon will
good. The
never stop
Irishman,
hosting.
and then there's Bad Grandpa too, which is definitely a cash grab.
Yeah, it's like Nick Cannon will never be able to stop hosting. He will always have to host a Fox show in order to keep his children fed.
By the way, the age of Tiffany Chen is 64 years old, according to Google.
No, simply untrue.
Must be,
or maybe it might be a different. Okay, her
yeah.
name. Sorry, that's another Tiffany Chen,
Okay.
who is a film producer in China. Sorry, it looks like Tiffany, his girlfriend, is 45 years old, which is really old.
That's kind of old for a kid, but it's doable. Obviously, it was just done, wasn't it?
Oh man.
All right. Honestly, I was expecting a much lower number. So,
hear this. De Niro is the father of 7 children, ranging from the ages of 5 weeks to 51 years old.
Oh my god!
Can you imagine being a
5-week-old kid? That kid's just gonna grow up fatherless. That's the bad part about this.
Well, but I said I have a sinking suspicion that they all grew up kind of fatherless.
That doesn't make it better.
Point.
That
I didn't say
doesn't
it made
make
it better. Just made precedent.
Man.
That's all.
So when she's old enough to drink, he will be 100 years old.
He won't be here. Yeah, he won't be here.
He'll be dead.
You never know. He's very famous and very wealthy. If anyone can buy his way to 100, I'm sure it's Robert De Niro.
So let me ask this hard-hitting question, and then we move on.
Yeah.
What is crazier, Nick Cannon having all these kids with different baby mamas, or De Niro having a kid at 79?
De Niro.
I don't know.
Because at least they could check in. Nick Cannon could at least do his FaceTime with those children.
There's a small army of Nick Cannon children. It is a staggering number of children. What is that, 13 now?
Yes.
Like, I don't know. I mean, yes, the age is, sticker shock. You look at that age, 79, like, oh my God, how could, but then you're like, but, when you, like, he's got a lot of money, and, all that stuff, it can kind of erase some of that sticker shock to try and keep track of 12 kids. And again, this is probably very morbid, but De Niro is not going to be around past, into the teen years, if we're being realistic, right? Nick Cannon's going to be around for all of them. He's got to father these children. Well, yeah, but 12, Rocky, and they're not all in the same place because they're not with the same woman. That's a lot of work.
He can still be around for other kids. He can still raise children.
He's also not done. He's made that very clear. And that's just a lot of children to try and keep track of. When you need an Excel spreadsheet to locate your children, you have too many. I would say, but again, they have the money.
And these women are willing to do it. I guess they're set for life too, financially. If I don't know.
We just not malign all these women. They might really like these people.
Have a kid.
They might really like.
Yeah,
we don't know. Tiffany Chen may be very, very romantically involved with Robert De Niro. It may have nothing to do with money. I'm just saying, he's really old, and that's kind of weird that he wanted to have a kid. Because why would you want a kid at 79? But
would you already have a 51-year-old?
Yeah, you got grandkids coming. You probably already have grandkids if he's 51. Like,
yeah, that's nuts.
So
I mean, oh boy,
probably not everyone chooses to have kids, but I think if your range is 5 weeks to 51, there's got to be some grandkids at least coming down the pipe, and I just feel like he could have waited for that personally.
And, think about how. If you somehow lived under a rock and did not know who this movie star was, and you saw him pick up his child, you would automatically think, oh, that's a nice picture of a grandfather holding his grandson. No.
You think he's going to use the Irishman CGI in real life now? At PTA conferences?
He has no choice. We're going to keep seeing him in movies.
Well,
So
he's definitely gonna keep
we're
working.
gonna see what Marvel Cinematic Universe, what Marvel character they have fit for him.
They need a new Kang.
Who's Kang?
Yeah, I don't know.
Jonathan Majors is the actor
Oh
who
yeah,
plays
that's
Kang.
right.
I don't know who that is.
He's the new big bad guy, but
I
probably
don't have
not
a story
anymore.
for him, but yeah, he's
Oh,
under a
well,
lot of heat.
everyone knows the Jonathan Majors story. If you don't know it, Google it.
Yeah, long
What's his
story
name?
short, Jonathan Majors, major movie star, is allegedly been under fire for he has allegedly had accusations against him for domestic abuse. And his agency has dropped
with
him.
his
I don't know if
partner.
Marvel dropped him yet, but yeah, really nasty story. You know, it's
I
terrible.
have no idea what this guy is.
He had a really promising career.
And he was meant to be the new main, like the Thanos-esque bad guy for Marvel. That was his big upcoming role, I believe. So
Yep.
They're bringing in another Thanos.
Well, no, this name is Kang, but he was going to have a different, he was going to have a similar villain. Yeah, exactly. A major villain that would be across multiple movies like Thanos. And I don't know if that'll happen anymore, but we'll see.
I mean, who knows? Ezra Miller's still the Flash.
Yeah, that's nuts. And Michael Shannon defended him last week.
Isn't Michael Shannon in that movie?
Yeah, he's co-star.
Yeah, that's why, by the way, in case anyone wanted to connect those dots. I think this movie's great. Said the guy in the movie.
Oh my goodness. So in other news, we talked about this NBA player when we did our last recap, but Ja Morant, point guard for the Memphis Grizzlies, is suspended by the Memphis Grizzlies for showing a video showing that he had a gun. This is only 2 months after the last video he was caught showing off his gun, which led to a suspension, which led to a talk with the NBA commissioner, which he said, I'm not going to do this anymore and I'm sorry for this. And he did it again. So what is going on through this guy's head? And do you think he should have a very lengthy suspension for this?
Do we know if it was a new
confused.
gun?
What was that,
Rocky?
First, Rocky's part?
I'm confused. So he flashed a gun on a video?
Instagram Live. Yeah, both Instagram Lives. He first showed one off in a strip club in Denver, Colorado. This was back in March. Gets suspended, went to the commissioner, made public apologies and said he'll never do it again. 2 months later, on another Instagram Live with his friend, showed off he had a gun. And now he's suspended.
Another club? Like, where was he the second time?
No, he's just in a car with his friend.
I get the first one. You shouldn't flash, a gun in a public space. But if you're in, nope. No, I see it in both cases. You shouldn't flash a gun in a car either.
So my question was it a new gun? Do we know any reporting on this?
I don't know if there have been any reports on the gun. I just know they're both pistols. Why do you need to
show it twice?
Because he wants to show he's tough, I guess.
But we saw it the first time. We know it's there. We saw it. You took it out at the strip club. It was very impressive. And we saw it. And we didn't need to see it again. I just don't understand. It'd be one thing if he did something wrong, got suspended, did a different thing wrong, and now he's in more trouble. Because you're like, all right, technically he didn't promise he would never do anything wrong. He just promised he wouldn't do a specific thing wrong again. But he made that promise and then very explicitly did almost the same thing again.
Yeah.
The venue is quite literally the only part that changed. He was with his friends. He brandished a weapon on Instagram Live. It's almost down to the letter, exactly the same. And it's just also don't make promises you don't want to keep.
Yeah.
Right? You
need to be a responsible gun owner.
It sounds like he maybe shouldn't be a gun owner, period, based on his penchant for whipping it out wherever there's a camera. but other than that, yeah, there's definitely a right and a wrong way to own a gun, and he certainly found, option 2. He's very good, right? I feel so bad because we had this conversation. Matt, you gave me a full, detailed, here's Ja Morant, because I brought the story last time because I thought it was interesting, but I didn't know anything about him. And then I was like, interesting. And now I'll never have to learn anything else about him because he's been suspended and he'll come back and he'll continue playing basketball. Nope. And I should have paid more attention to his career because now I'm once again lost. I don't know. I mean, obviously he didn't play that long. He was suspended recently, but The Grizzlies did well
right
as a team.
And so with him, major all-star, arguably top 15 NBA player, he got suspended, but he got suspended the first time, but the Grizzlies were killing it, and they arguably played a little better without him. And they made the playoffs, got knocked out
That's bad
by the
news
Lakers
for him.
about a couple weeks ago, and I guess this is all LeBron's fault. He should have let him win, and he would have showed us off.
Could you imagine if LeBron started brandishing a weapon when he lost in Miami after promising 100 championships?
Oh man, this would be an alternate world, some butterfly effect.
I know, but no,
Mm-hmm.
at that time something would have happened, Rocky. This is a different LeBron. But yeah, the current LeBron could probably do all of this. But past LeBron still had to prove himself a tiny bit. Yeah, I don't know. But to speak of LeBron James, I feel like we talk about top 15 player. How many of the top 15 players are in this kind of trouble? It's not that many.
In the top 15?
Yeah, in the top 15. I'm talking about.
I don't think, no, not really.
He's in this kind of
current players.
Yeah, he's in this peer group of uber talented professional ball players. You've got 14 other people. Just do what they do. Just watch them. Do what they do. Hang out with
$35
them.
million coming to
hang out with their friends. Maybe your friends, you see them at the holidays, sort of deal, right? When you go home, you can say, "Hey, what's up? We'll get lunch," sort of deal. You have 14 other people who you are considered as good as, right? Just do what they do. Follow them. They've got your money. They've got your status. They've got your ability. Like, it's not like, it'd be one thing if he was like the next LeBron, like if there was no, prototype for this player, if he was in a league of his own, an island all his own, that would be something that you could even, not that you justify, this is still wrong. He should still be suspended. To answer your question, lengthy suspension probably, because not only was it a second offense, it was literally the same offense again. But like, he's not reinventing the wheel. There's 14 other players who are as good, if not better than he is. Just do what they're doing. It's that simple. Just watch, observe, and mimic. Fake it till you make it. And I don't know why that's a hard thing for him to understand, because the other 14 got it. As I just said, like, yeah, there's problems in all sports. When you have a large collection of people, there will be problems amongst that collection of people. That's just a fact. But when you're considered exceptional, I feel like you kind of have to hold yourself a little higher up than that. And I don't know if he does, or worse, maybe he does, and to a point where he thinks that he can just do whatever. Which, as Rocky said, maybe there's a few players who could do whatever. I don't think it's him. I have to get his bio every time we talk about him, so that's never a good sign.
Oh, I just hope one day we don't see a video of that gun actually going off, because then we don't need more. We don't have more of an issue.
Unless it's responsibly used at a shooting range with professionals around.
Yes.
Notice he doesn't film that, though. That's weird. Not as good content-wise.
Oh, man.
I guess.
Ja Morant. But when we, there's eventually going to be another tweet cap where they announce the suspension, and we'll comment on that. But yeah, I mean, as my last point here before we move on, you went to the commissioner of the NBA to try to fix this, and you make him look really bad too. Like, I don't know. You just don't know.
Behave? Yes. Leaves the office, goes to Instagram Live. Guys, guess what? I'm back.
Literally on Instagram Live too. There's no way that could be stopped. And
who are his buddies? I feel like one of them should be like, "Hey, what if we just made millions and didn't do this?"
Yeah, right. Live coast off of him being in his entourage. Nope, but just get him in more trouble. I'm really interested in this story, guys, and I want to hear your thoughts. A 29-year-old YouTuber named Trevor, let me start it. Sorry. A 29-year-old YouTuber named Trevor Jacob admitted to authorities that he blatantly crashed an airplane in a video to promote a wallet. He destroyed a plane to gain views. He literally implied that and said that. A news release from The United States Attorney General's office is now charging him with this, and he is facing up to 20 years in prison. A perfect example of why you shouldn't do things for clout, don't you think? He's literally facing 20 years in prison, and he said he did this for views. Rocky, as a legal expert, and Ryan, I definitely want your thoughts on this too. Do you think this guy is going to face time for this?
I still don't know what he did.
Was it his plane?
Was it his plane?
I
I
guess I'm just
think it actually
confused.
was, but I'll confirm that. I'll confirm that still. The flight took place in November 2021.
Okay.
And the actual charge is pleading guilty to one count of destruction and concealment with intent to obstruct a federal investigation. And Jacob put several cameras in different parts of the plane and took a parachute and selfie stick with him.
Wait, I think I've seen this video.
He ghost rode
I think
the
I've
plane.
seen this video. Yeah.
He just jumped out of the plane.
Oh, you didn't
Yeah, he
see the
jumped out of the
video?
plane.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't know
this was a couple years ago, right?
Yeah,
I thought
you
a
can see
dude
the
was
video.
I
You
thought
can see
a
the
dude
video now. Let
I
me
thought
see if
a
I
dude
can get a
was
muted
bad
version
at
of it.
flying his plane is going to jail. I'm like, that's not.
Oh
that
no,
doesn't fit
he
right.
he ghost flew his plane. He literally jumps out of the plane and lets it crash. I just don't
Oh,
know if
So what did it crash into?
Okay,
That's...
by the way, it is his airplane. This video is called "I Crashed My Airplane." Right here. And yeah,
Okay.
the guy literally jumps out
Okay.
and crashes it. And it's
So he probably hit something he wasn't supposed to hit.
Yeah, here I'm showing for the video.
No,
I'm showing Ryan
I've seen
and
this.
Rocky now. For
Yeah,
those
he crashed
looking.
into an area he shouldn't have crashed into. That's essentially what happened, I bet. In which case, yeah, he's probably in trouble.
I don't get, like, what is it? Destruction and concealment of evidence or something like that. What'd you say?
Yeah, so the official charge here is one count of destruction and concealment with intent to obstruct a federal investigation.
So he must have hid some stuff when they were trying to figure out how the plane crashed.
Was.
Probably into a random plane crash, Rocky.
Yeah, so basically
you know what? My guess is probably that he had to probably report that this plane went down to the feds, to the FCC, and probably just lied about why it went down. And then he got found. That's my guess.
Yeah, so more
of
throwing
about that, but that'd be my guess is what happened.
Yeah, so he departed from Lomax City Airport in Santa Barbara County, but he never intended to land the aircraft, and I guess he told them he was. And he admitted in the plea agreement he planned to eject from the aircraft during the flight and video himself parachuting to the ground. And yeah, so it seems like he lied to the FAA, and even though it was his own plane, that's where I guess gets messy.
I mean,
you can't ghost ride your plane. Yeah.
He's already pled, and he's pled. I doubt, he's not facing that significant of a punishment.
Well, it says here he's facing 20 years. Do you think he'll actually get it?
If it's part of a plea agreement, they probably have something worked out.
He should see jail time for this.
He might. Who knows? I don't know.
I've decided. At first, I was going to say no, Matt, by the way. But as I've learned more about all of this, don't do that.
Yeah, this is. I used to do this all the time in GTA.
Well, that's different. That's GTA. That's why GTA exists. So you can jump out of the plane.
Sometimes you accidentally press Y and then you just jump out.
Exactly.
In the real world, you can't.
That's what he did. No, he accidentally pressed Y.
No, that's what he says in the plea.
It.
It's literally called "I crashed my airplane." But is this ultimately a sign?
I crashed my airplane.
To tell these influencers to stop, or
well,
just
that
let
one
him keep
influencer
going?
in Virginia, not too long ago, got shot doing one of his prank videos. Which again, don't shoot people. I'd like to point that out. Not throwing all of it.
Videos in 2023.
Well, not that guy anymore, but he survived. Anyway, yeah, yes, obviously this is different than that, because in that case, someone actively did a crime to the influencer. But I feel like if you walk up to a person in a mall and you see them, you should be able to get right away whether or not this person is going to laugh at your joke. And if the answer is not yes, resoundingly, then at the bare minimum, you have to figure out will this person be carrying a weapon or intend to harm me? And if that is also not definitively no, then don't do the joke on them. I do think if you're looking for clout, well, first of all, crashing a plane is not funny. Like, nothing is inherently funny about a plane crash. I don't know why you shrugged, Rocky, but
we made like 3 jokes about GTA stuff. That's kind of funny.
yeah, those were jokes. No one crashed the plane.
He puts in the video. This is me pressing Y.
I'm saying, like,
funny.
When you watch a plane, all right, if you're on the ground and you watch a plane crash, if you laugh, you have an issue.
Yeah, no. Well, no, yeah, you're not gonna laugh at that.
Right. So there's nothing, inherently speaking, there's nothing funny about a plane crash.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like a lot of influencers have stopped worrying about funny and entertaining and have jumped into shocking, which, I mean, every medium has done this, and some very famous people that we consider totally reasonable, by the way, were shock artists. I mean, Howard Stern is one of Matt's idols, right? And Howard Stern started off being just, what is the most shocking thing I can say on the radio, right? That was his shtick. He was a shock jock. That was his whole. I think they called him that for a while. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's not totally new, but just shocking is not entertaining. It's shocking, and so it'll pop a number, but it doesn't. All right, I would say that's where the problem comes in, because if the only thing you've got going for you is the ability to shock your viewers, then you have to continue coming up with more obscenely ridiculous things to do to shock people.
Yeah, like I'm gonna
crashing your airplane
or getting shot on camera. And what kind of edit do you say? Survived attempted murder.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's literally what you put.
So I think,
or this guy. I remember this guy Shoe Nice. He did the most insane challenge. Like, let me eat fireworks challenge. Yeah,
he did anything.
He got
that guy's crazy.
I hope he's still here.
You're shocked when you have shock. When that's your skill, when your skill is shocking people, you have to keep upping the freaking stakes every time, and that gets harder and harder to do. Eventually, you plateau. So I don't know.
Seen Dude Perfect?
No. Obviously, I haven't. I don't. What part of my talking has led anyone to believe that I like any of these people?
No, Dude Perfect's not shocking. They do the trick shots, but they have to keep up the ante.
Yeah, but you can up if you start.
And there's
low
some videos
and
that
you
use a lot of
ante,
screens now to make that happen.
If you start at plane crash,
really?
Where do you go? What comes after plane crash? But yeah,
have to do a space.
I would say maybe submarine.
I'm just saying it's
a submarine.
Yeah, submarine crash would be probably
it's
the next.
It's just very difficult to up yourself so frequently, and it's not worth it. Like, the clout's not worth it, because no one is proud. What is that thing? You're not cute. You're not funny. You're not impressing anybody.
Yeah,
it's not worth it. It'll give you the numbers you need in the short term, but you will get banned eventually, because you have to keep upping the ante, and so your career ends because you haven't built a fan base that cares about you and your talents at all. You've built a fan base that wants to see you break things, and eventually someone else will break something and you'll be banned. So I don't know. I think that you should think long and hard about your skits. Are they funny for real, or are they just shocking? Because shocking will eventually hit a wall, and then you're fucked.
Oh man, this is gonna be something else to say, and this is to transition from this to Kim Kardashian. So it was reported today that Kim Kardashian is shopping for a home in Tom Brady's community, and apparently the pair have been in touch and are friendly. And Tom Brady, who is single, Kim Kardashian, who is single, are gonna come together to help find her a home, I guess somewhere in Miami. And I'll ask this deep question. Do we see Kim Kardashian and Tom Brady dating, and what does this mean for our world?
I do see that, but I see something else. I see a presidential campaign in which every single plank is an insult to Tom Brady. Every single one. When Kanye does his anti-Brady party.
Oh no.
and it's specifically about insulting across all 50 states Tom Brady for dating his ex-wife, I might actually be okay with that. I
That'd be
might.
hilarious.
I'd be like, give him space. Give him space. Let's keep the meds on standby, but let's not force him down the throat just yet. I want to see where this goes. I mean, yeah, I think so, right? Obviously, the report wouldn't exist. Smoke. If there's smoke, there's fire. So obviously, if
Oh
this report
no,
exists,
No, a reporter lying?
oh, stop it.
they've never done that before.
They
Never.
have, but I'm saying smoke, there's fire. If they're reporting it that way, if they're putting those two names together, then they have to have,
Friendly.
yes, they have to have at least some inkling of a suspicion that it's more than just a friend helping their friend move. Um, they wouldn't bring it up if it was literally Tom, like, oh yeah, I got a good real estate guy. I'll put you in touch. Like, that's not making the news.
I'm gonna
What
go
if
with
they're
you
just
to the
doing
open
like
house.
a reality show together or something?
Well, I guess that's true. They could be doing some sort of business venture together.
He did back out of his Fox deal, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they say that's about to happen soon. It's
Yeah.
close
He
to
should
it.
go back though, because everything he does is going to get signal boosted by Kanye West.
Man, I don't know.
He should do both.
Does he care about her? And she has that new
Oh
wife
yeah.
of his.
Hey,
I don't know if we're
He has a
still
new
obsessed.
wife.
Yeah, a whole new wife, not even a girlfriend, a wife.
Oh yeah, no, they're not together then. What are you talking about? You got to lead with the fact he's married.
I don't have to lead with anything because he still cares. Come
Who's he
on.
married to? Hold
It's
on.
Kanye West. He cares about everything
I'm talking
and
about Tom
nothing.
Brady.
Not Tom
Oh
Brady. I'm
no,
talking
yeah, no,
about Kanye
Tom
West.
Brady.
Tom
Yeah,
Brady's single.
I think you're talking about Tom Brady being married.
No, Matt's saying
Kanye West is
Kanye West
married.
has a new
Kanye
wife.
wife has Kanye West. Kanye West.
Kanye
Kanye West
West.
has a new wife. Kim K's single. No one's I haven't seen anything crazy with her in terms of relationships. I think she's actually going to be in the new American Horror Story, and they caught her filming that.
Interesting.
And then also, now this becoming a thing in Page 6. Kim K
When
and Tom Brady, the
when
relationship
Kanye
we
releases
want to
his
laugh
tweet,
at.
his
Kind of
tweet
forgot Kanye existed, honestly.
saying that he first saying all these mean things about Tom Brady, and then saying he spoke to Steve Martin and he apologizes, and then clarifying he didn't speak to Steve Martin, he just watched Father of the Bride, and it gave him a new understanding about Tom Brady's relationship. That's what I'm looking forward to. He's still gonna be insane if this happens because he honestly, I don't think he likes sharing the spotlight with Kim Kardashian. I think that's what Kanye is more upset about. Whenever she
Mm.
dates a guy, she gets in the news, and she's more in the news than he is, frankly. And I think he doesn't like that. So I think he always takes the time to insert himself into her relationship
And
because
also
then it's
with
their
Kim K
news.
too. I get pretty much any single person she talk any single famous person she talks to, she's rumored to be dating them. I mean,
Yeah.
she could talk to Bernie Sanders and people will make funny cruel sick jokes saying that they're about to go out.
Oh, we have to call Jonah Hill if that happens. Kanye's gonna need a reminder.
Oh,
Oh
I know what you're
man.
talking about.
Yeah, that's I guess a Jonah Hill movie made Kanye change his views on
No,
a certain group of people.
a
It is like
publicist
one of the best movies of
a
all time.
publicist tweeted, and that's what changed Kanye's views. That was it.
Unbelievable. Listen, guys, there was this another report that came out today, and I would like to hear both of you guys talk on this, views on this. We all know the rise of AI in all aspects of life is getting bigger and bigger, whether it's music. I mean, I literally heard a Paul McCartney singing Maroon 5, She Will Be Loved, and it sounded like a perfect
That's probably
uh,
very good.
Beatles song. We obviously know about Chat GBT and the rise of that, and all the artist AI work and all the manipulation and all of that when it comes to artificial intelligence. And also education has been a big thing too. So it was reported in just 1 month, hundreds of thousands of students have downloaded the new AI homework assistant, Plato, to finish their schoolwork faster. And it keeps rising and rising. And you can also use ChatGPT to write essays. And let me ask guys, are we concerned about AI? Are we concerned it's going to change everything for us? Is it going to take over our world, or should we embrace it and use it as a new tool?
It's the future.
Yeah, I'm actually really interested in it. When people say this is scary, I hate this, whatever. I mean, we're not going to have a. I hope we don't. I don't think we're going to have an iRobot situation, or this is going to turn to a Philip K. Dick novel. But I think it's stuff like this. It's actually cool, and just have to use it correctly. And there's people who are way smarter than me who know if they can literally take its mind of its own and go crazy on this. But with stuff like this, AI, like, where should we go with all of this? Like, why are people so nervous?
I don't know. People seem like it's with this specifically, people are like afraid of progress. It makes so much sense. Like why wouldn't it be embraced everywhere? It has practical applications in like every single I don't know, career for the most part.
Yeah.
Like they're talking about using it in drive-throughs at like Wendy's. Like
so I was
going to
say
take your order.
that
would be so cool.
AI, with all new technology, of course, there's the risk of abuse, right? Like you can't discount it. It is a self-learning program. There is definitely ways that could go wrong. Like we have speculated about it in science fiction for however long. So obviously there are ways that it can go wrong. But
there's Tay. Was that the Microsoft one that went racist? Do you remember that?
No, well, maybe, yeah. I mean,
it
I don't even
a
just
Twitter
mean
page.
that. Yeah,
it was
I don't even
really
just mean
old.
racism.
It was like 2010 or something like that, and they made an AI bot you could chat with, and it became racist in like 24 hours.
I mean,
God.
Yeah, I don't even mean that because I mean people are racist too, so that's really not AI exclusive. But I would say one thing that I think so interesting is I think a lot of folks are really overestimating this technology at the moment.
It was 2016. You remember that?
I don't. Oh, I think you've told me about it, but I didn't see it.
I've seen that image before.
Yeah,
I've seen that image.
It was a famous Twitter page.
AI. No, but I think people are overestimating like ChatGPT and stuff by quite a bit. I use ChatGPT often for work, and so
how much is it? Is it $5 a month right now?
Oh, I have the free version.
For it?
I have the free version. I don't have the full.
Oh, and could you use it exclusively, the free version, or is there like a limit to it? I've never used ChatGPT.
They haven't stopped me yet.
I never use it either.
I don't use it that often. It's not, frankly, that's part of my point. Actually, it can't write an essay. You said that's false. ChatGPT. Yeah. Anyway. I don't know about Play-Doh,
this is
the homework
Play-Doh.
assistant. So I don't know about that. I don't use that. I don't have homework. I'm an adult. But for people who do, maybe that one's better. But ChatGPT, I've thrown in some of the topics that I've been writing about just to see what it would say. It's not good. It's very bad writing most of the time.
Is it bad grammar wise?
No, grammar is fine. It's just boring. It's not written well. It's not interesting to read. It is a recitation of facts. I actually just recently, not for work, but I was helping a friend do an essay that they had to do because they do still have homework. And she was asking me for some pointers, so I threw them into ChatGPT, and it gave me an organized and I gave it the parameters for the essay, and it gave me everything I wanted. It gave me the parameters that I wanted. I typed in bullet points of the what I wanted in the order I wanted them, which it also gave me. But it was quite literally my bullet points connected with connecting words. It was, and that's probably speaking generously. It was not an essay. It was the bullet points I wrote out connected with ands and does.
Didn't add the human touch to it.
No, it looked like a robot wrote it. Also for ChatGPT, I was trying to use it to source topics for my work because I do have to pitch some of my own stories, and I put in what I write about. All of your viewers know that I write about wrestling. And I was getting some really, really old content, like stuff that hasn't been relevant in years. So finally, I actually asked ChatGPT. I said, "What does your brain stop?" I didn't say it that way. I said it better.
What is your brain?
When does your brain stop? Essentially, and they're like, "Oh, September 2021." So
it already happened.
Yes. So anything that happened after September 2021, ChatGPT has only a 40% chance of knowing anything about that.
Interesting.
So it's not that good. It's good in terms of the technology didn't exist and it's come a long way from racist tweets in 2016 from Microsoft, but I do think that there's a lot of limitations that folks are not, at least in the writing space, that folks are not considering. Like people who are talking about like AI is the future, they're going to run things, they're going to replace people. ChatGPT is not replacing anybody. ChatGPT is replacing Google. That's pretty much it. Instead of Googling all the information and then writing an essay, you can get a rough outline through ChatGPT, and you still have to go to Google to source everything. So it's still not going to help you. But ChatGPT is, and AI more broadly, I would say, still got a long way to go before anyone has to be worried or overly excited. I think it's still very much early phases, which means there's still plenty of opportunity for it to develop as a tool. It's like Rocky said, it's a tool, it's progress. If we use it correctly, then we have nothing to worry about. Do I trust us to do that? Historically speaking, we usually find a less than ideal application for everything we've ever created. So track record says that ChatGPT, AI more broadly, could probably be misused, but we haven't gotten there yet. It can't be misused in any meaningful way right now, other than some soft plagiarism. So
I also think a professor could go. Somebody said a professor can go to ChatGPT, copy and paste the essay, and say, "Did you write this?" And then it'll rat on itself too.
If a professor needs to ask
Allegedly.
ChatGPT, if a professor needs to ask ChatGPT if ChatGPT wrote it, not a good professor. It's very obvious. I'm serious. It's so obvious. It's insane. I wrote in the margins of the essay that I was helping on. I was like, do not just submit this. I said, this was written by a robot. It's horrible. This is just so you have the format that I was trying to convey outside of bullet points. I was, very explicit. Like there was no introduction. There was no conclusion. Well, that's not true. They had a conclusion and it started with "in conclusion," which is how all of the worst conclusions start about 90% of the time.
In conclusion.
So like it was just the content was bad. The format was good and it organized thoughts very well. And so for that, it's great. And I think people should learn how to use it. I think it's harder to use than people think. If you're just typing "do this for me," you're not getting the best out of ChatGPT. You should use it, give it the parameters, and it can really be an actual assistant for you and help you think, help you organize. But if you're using it for homework, you're not, you're shooting for C's, frankly.
Have you seen the videos they can do now?
AI
videos? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that creepy?
That's freaky. What is that? Rocky's showing us like very messed up versions of Shrek and Mickey Mouse.
Rocky lives in the dark part of the internet.
I loved it.
The Will Smith eating spaghetti is the famous one.
Jesus.
I've seen that one actually,
yeah.
I love AI music. Like I really like the alternate takes on famous songs. Freddie Mercury ones are really good.
That Peaches one was bad though. Didn't like it.
You didn't like Freddie Mercury Peaches?
No,
Michael Jackson's Peaches.
That was just Michael Jackson saying the word peaches over and over again. That wasn't very good.
Man, good stuff. Good stuff indeed. There's something, though this is 2 weeks old.
Okay.
It's a cool broad intake. Again, I want to hear you guys talk about it. So James Corden, the Late Late Show ends his show 2 weeks ago. Late Late Show is done. James Corden obviously became a huge hit, especially in the late 2010s. Carpool Karaoke, Spill Your Guts, Crosswalk the Musical. So
I like those.
He was really popular on YouTube, and obviously his show, ratings went down. He did have kind of a bad PR moment. That restaurant said he was the worst, and then he leaves the show a year later to focus on other things. They did not announce a person taking over or a group of people, and it might even be like what The Daily Show did. Trevor Noah left his show last fall, and they just put guest hosts for The Daily Show for now. And late night TV used to be a staple, but do you think with James Corden gone, The Daily Show not being what it used to be, And, Conan was very popular, but now he's on a very successful podcast. Is late night pretty much on the way out in the next 10 years? Even with these YouTube videos that really aren't trending as much as they used to either.
Yeah, I think it might be. I mean, people don't consume content that way very much anymore.
No.
Like, what are the so I'm trying to think of just what is like the episodic, like the weekly viewing shows right now. Succession,
Yeah, just the
Yellowstone, is
HBO
that
ones.
still a thing? Is Yellowstone still a thing?
Yellowstone's done.
Okay. But aren't there like 16 like other Yellowstones?
Oh yeah, there's alternates like Yellowstone 19.
So the
23 or
Yellowstone
something.
franchise is still probably episodic, and that probably still commands a decent number of folks. What else is like weekly episodic that people must watch?
Besides sports, that's it.
Barry.
Yeah.
Specific.
Is
Yeah,
Barry?
very.
Yeah, Barry.
Barry.
But I don't even think that's there because no.
Let me know when you
offense
see
to the
that
Barry
episode,
fans.
Rocky.
I haven't watched it yet. I know. I'll let you know
No
when I
offense
do.
to the Barry fans, but it's on the same freaking time as Succession, correct? So there you go.
Well, right after.
Yeah, no one's there.
The same night, but yes.
So
I'm the wrong person to ask. I don't watch
I
TV.
think that. So imagine like how few shows are successfully doing like tune in every week to see what happens next. Like late night has to do that every night. Every night. Well, during the weeknights, obviously. That's no way. People don't pay attention like that anymore. They don't watch TV like that anymore. To have like again, I think something like a John Oliver, who I like more than I think probably his viewers do. That's known. But as an example, and not just him, there's others like Bill Maher. There's other people who do the same format. Like once a week, you do a late night show. That could become popular. But to have every single like a show every single night of the week, like Fallon, like Myers, like Kimmel do, I don't know. And I think the people who are in there now are established enough that they will be able to keep these jobs as long as they want. But I think when they go away, I don't know if a studio would want to replace them with a new host. They might just look for new programming, like something new to do. And I know they tried to do the shift over with like Lily Singh, right? And
that show didn't.
Amber Ruffin is her last name.
Yeah, that was a Peacock exclusive.
And those were both like internet famous folks, I believe, or folks that went viral on the internet first. And that didn't translate either because that's not how the internet works either. Like nobody is watching something episodic on the internet. And if they are, it's in addition to a bunch of other things. Like there are certain YouTube channels that I watch that have a release schedule of once a week for a certain series or a certain type of video that I watch, but they usually have other things coming out. So like throughout the week, I have different touch points to watch and engage with that creator. There's no channel that I can think of that's like once a week I release this. That's not true. I can think of like one that I follow that is like that format. Like every Saturday release something and that's it. Like it's just not how like episodic is not in at this point. And doing an episode every single night, you're taking a dying formula and you're trying to expand it. I just don't see how that works. I think that they need to consider alternate like options. Honestly, this will be weird. Maybe they do one show a week. Everyone hits that stride, right? And then they do like Peacock exclusive stuff and Paramount exclusive stuff. They do some stuff online, right? Like they do stuff on YouTube or socials to kind of keep those touch points like everybody else is doing, and then just have like home base be, Wednesday night, late night, or two. And if they're smart, they'll all pick a different day. I'm sure they're not smart, so they won't. But that's my thought. Again, Matt, you're probably more knowledgeable about the late night ecosystem than I am, but I don't watch anymore. Like I watch clips of like Kimmel. His monologues usually get a chuckle out of me. And
those do well. They get about 2 million, 1 to 2 million a night. So,
but I don't know who else can do it.
Like you really, when you look at the guests, who really needs celebrity involvement anymore? Like the people who used to go to late night, that's where you saw these celebrities. But now with social media, they put themselves out there. And I guess the monologue, it's all about caring about the individual person at this point. The bits aren't as popular as they are. And, Yeah, nobody really wants to find. It seems that these studios don't want to find the new person, whoever they are, to become a big late night star. And I think that's one thing Trevor Noah realized, that this isn't going to work for him. That's why he left somewhat abruptly.
I think Trevor Noah would have been fine in his spot.
Yeah,
I feel
but
like was in that category with. I think all of the late night hosts, maybe not Corden, because people really hated on that dude.
yeah,
Everyone just collectively pointed and said no, boo. So he for some reason wasn't allowed anymore. But everybody else, I think they have their fans, and they're probably fine to just ride it out until they're done. They want to set off to something different or leave the career behind. But I don't. I don't like the Daily Show is a really good example. I think they have several very talented people, two of which jump out to me as like potential hosts. And I don't
which
think
one?
either
Who are those two?
Klepper and Roy Wood Jr.
Yeah,
I think they both did awesome when they were guest hosts. They've both been around a long time on that show. They know the format, but they're also both doing their own things, both online mostly. You know what I mean? Like, and they're making a decent amount of money. And I just don't think anyone's going to want to tie themselves to a show right now. They don't need to. And the ratings aren't the same as they were when Jon Stewart was there. Uh, Jon Stewart's ratings aren't even the same as when Jon Stewart was there on his show. Like, you know what I mean? It's
yeah, the
just
Apple show.
it's yeah, it's like it's everyone. It's not just these new folks either. Jon Stewart is like factually good at this. You can agree or disagree with him politically, but like he had very successful TV show. That's facts. It was one of the most successful Comedy Central's ever had. Like it was Chappelle and like maybe one other show and then him. Like very successful show.
Oh, by the way, I just saw At Midnight's coming back. That's going to replace.
I thought
With
he was in
Corden.
trouble though.
yeah, didn't he get in trouble? But
Chris Hardwick.
He's still doing that like Plinko show.
Yeah, I guess he is forgiven,
All right.
but he is
So,
taking
so
over.
we forgave him, but we didn't forgive James Corden, huh?
I don't know. The issue is these people aren't funny.
Well, yeah, you don't count, right?
That's
We're not
true.
talking to you.
I don't like any of that stuff. Ryan knows that.
Yeah, well, that's not true, Matt, because when he says none of them, he really means none of them.
None of them, not a single one, are funny.
Right.
Who can make
So
you
that's
literally
because he
laugh
doesn't-
out loud.
He doesn't do comedy, but there's something to be said for that. Actually, I'm insulting him, but there's something to be said for that. Like YouTube is different. Comedy on YouTube is different than late night. No one is monologuing on YouTube. I am monologuing currently on YouTube. But that's it. It's just me. It's a niche that only I'm filling. Yeah. So the comedy on YouTube is not monologues. It's visual. It has to be visual.
Actual comedy.
It has to be visual. There has to be effects. There has to be like something to see. So just standing there talking, that's not going to cut it for a lot of folks who get most of their entertainment on YouTube. And that's not an insult. Like YouTube is very entertaining. I spend most of my day watching YouTube videos. So I think that's something that no one has been able to figure out yet. Like, how do you make a show? And I thought the pandemic might fix that, and it really didn't.
You can argue it made it worse.
Yeah.
Nobody was watching that.
Well, I thought
Like there's low rated shows and then there's no rated shows. They had no ratings.
I just thought that they were gonna do like be creative, like because they were all stuck at home. Like they could make it more like a YouTube video. They didn't. And
You know who was the best at it was Seth Meyers, who we criticized off the air, Ryan. But
he's just not that good at on the air. Like,
yeah, so
who's really good at Weekend Update? He's the one in my mind actually. When I said everyone should do a John Oliver-esque thing, that's who I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Seth Meyers is good. Once a week, do a Weekend Update style satirical show. Put it on like Hulu or whatever, because HBO has like 4, so they don't need another. I think he'd be fine. I think he could easily do that. Seth Meyers is very talented as a writer, and he's very good. Like he was very good on Weekend Update. I think even people who didn't love SNL at the time would admit that him and some of the character work that he had, like with Bill Hader and stuff, was very good. I don't know. I don't know why. Again, it's because that's the format that's always been, is the every night at the same time with the guests and all that stuff. And it's just no one cares anymore.
what a shame. What a shame. And the last thing we'll talk about, it's this new show, and I just wanted, it's going to lead to a more perspective conversation. Have you guys ever watched CNN The Decade series?
No.
I have. So
So it's just CNN does this docuseries going through the decades. They've done the 60s till now. They are now released the 2010s. And basically they go through everything from pop culture to major political events, major news events. And I was watching the 2010s, both the TV and music, and obviously the nostalgia hits hard and just makes me realize, wow, the 2010s really has a perspective now. Like we could really, you could really make a 2010s look. You really can provide a 2010 sound. And I'm not going to be another person that says, God, we're getting old, but even though we are, like, when you talk 2010s, what comes to your mind now? Like the 70s, you could talk about disco. The 80s, you talk about techno music, or if we're going with political stuff, the 70s had Watergate, 80s Reagan, 90s Clinton, all of that stuff. What comes to your mind for the 2010s now, or your early thoughts on it here in May of 2023?
That's interesting. I mean, it's hard for us because we have our own personal 2010s. Like
True.
it's easy for us to sit and say, okay, 80s is these things, right? Because we weren't there. So we watch a documentary series, we read a book, we say this is what was important in the 80s because we were told that things that were important to us in the 2010s are very personal. Like as an example, Matt knows in 2012 specifically, that we had that one trip.
The world ended.
Well, the world ended, yeah. But that day we were in New York City, we were seeing Jimmy Fallon, and beyond just that,
right.
like we spent a lot of time going to Radio City for like AGT and stuff. Like so for
too.
me, like talking about the 2010s in pop culture. Yeah, Rocky actually did go to one of those.
Really?
I was obviously not with us, but he was there while we were in line. But like so when I talk
were you there for Hugh Jackman too?
Yes, that was the day he was there.
No way.
But he was. Well, you said you did the tour of NBC, correct?
Yeah, we did the tour of NBC, and then we did the AGT show that night.
Yeah, so I think they were in the tour while we were in line.
So if just quickly to hold your point with the Hugh Jackman story. Long story short, we go to America's Got Talent, waiting in line at Radio City, and for those who know, Radio City is across the street from 30 Rock. I see this huge brawly figure in this lavish brown suit just hanging out for a good 3 minutes. Nobody notices him. And me and Ryan are talking with the people in line. I just quickly point out just to really make, I don't know what I was doing. I just saw it. I just did what I thought came to mind. I said, hey, look, there's Hugh Jackman. Everybody turns their head, and literally a stampede of people all come towards him as he's waiting for his ride. I've literally never seen in my entire life, like somebody there's I'm no joke, like literally maybe 200 people gravitate towards one person.
That's a busy street. In New
very
York City.
busy. Yeah, in the summer, and people taking pictures and getting his autograph, and caused that moment there. And Rocky, you were there that day?
Yeah, I was there.
I believe that was the show.
Week. Yeah.
So did you see that event?
No, I don't remember any of the Hugh Jackman stuff. I went to AGT that night.
Yeah, we did too, but we were just in line to get in.
And it shows those free tickets.
I was in that line. I was pretty far back in it though.
We were up front because basically we would always grab lunch and then get in line. That was essentially the day. Like grab food, get in line, and then get into the show. But anyway, my point is, like, for me, a lot of like my entertainment, like a lot of what I consider entertainment revolves around New York City for the 2010s, because like that was the show that I watched, the shows that I watched, the places that I went for culture and entertainment. Whereas if you lived in California, you may not care at all about those things. You know what I mean? There might be a totally different set of, especially with like music and stuff, there might be a totally different set of core like moments. So that one's kind of hard, but I don't know, music wise, I feel like there was
genre meshing, a lot of genre meshing stuff.
I think pop music kind of had a bit of a resurgence because pop was obviously really big in the 80s, like traditional pop. Obviously, there's always pop music, but what people consider pop, like Michael Jackson and his ilk were very big in like the 80s, right? But in the 90s, it was definitely more of a grungy alternative, maybe in folksy, a lot more guitars strumming around in the 90s. And even in the early like aughts, right? And then rap was also kind of getting big in the 90s and the aughts. But then 2010, I feel like rap stayed around, obviously. Guitars went away and pop music kind of came back like a mini 80s sort of thing.
Yeah, like the electrical EDM, electric dance music type stuff.
So I think that would be the sound of like the 2010s.
Yeah, that's how I
mixed in with hip hop, because that did from the 90s that kind of maintained.
And the trap scene. One thing I didn't really pay attention to, but I guess they talked about it in the series, was the rise of country and pop coming together. Like, it didn't really
like stadium pop, you mean?
I guess so.
Or stadium country rather, like the big kind of like Keith Urban's.
Like you have your what's her name, Brandy Carlisle? No, that's somebody else.
You mean like, are you talking about a current artist?
So there's I'm gonna give you two perspectives. There's one like the EDM combining with the more like the poppy sound, poppy rap combining with country. We'll do like the little
country
Nas
rap's horrible. I mean, for the most part, country rap is bad. But yeah, go ahead.
Or what's that song by Avicii? Is it Avicii? So wake me up when it's all
that's
over.
Avicii.
That's a good song. I like that.
It's a great song.
So you combine country and pop in that sense.
Okay, that's country very, very loosely defined, but yeah, sure.
Yeah,
there's a banjo in there somewhere, I'm sure.
That's what they say too. But then you have I guess this is more folk music, but you like your Mumford and Sons that really was successful.
That's true. That did kind of get really big when we were kids, right?
Yeah.
Or like the Black Keys do. I know that they've moved over now, but back at one point they were kind of like that, or the Lumineers.
Yeah. What was her name?
True.
But there was also is it Brandy something? Musgrave?
Ray Jepsen.
Casey Musgraves? That's the country singer. I'm
going
with the one who
country. She looks Casey Musgraves. Like she's she could, her music would be popular in like the 70s, 60s and 70s. It seems.
Yeah, a lot of it was kind of there was a little bit of throwback there, yeah.
And I am trying to get into more country to
don't worry about
open my horizons.
I wouldn't worry too much about it.
But another thing we talked about,
cowboy.
One thing they said in this show is like, yeah, rock is pretty much dead and country is quote unquote the new rock. Do you guys agree with that?
Insofar as it's what a lot of white people listen to, yeah.
No.
But also like the instrumentation perspective with a guitar, bass, and drum.
Yeah, there's guitars. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. If we're defining it as the new rock and roll based purely on has guitars and is listened to by mostly white people, then yes. But I don't see any comparison between the two. Really, like think of all your favorite classic rock
what is our girl Taylor Swift?
She's a pop star.
You would say she's a pop star, a country star turned pop star?
Sure, if you want to, but she's straight up
pop star turned country. Sorry, country star turned pop star.
She's straight out of the Madonna playbook. She has the big show with the costumes. She's a pop star.
She really is one of the 5 most important people in the world, according to the internet.
5?
That's high. That's right.
Okay, how about 10?
Still high.
In pop music. Yeah,
in pop music, she's top
how
five.
About probably top 3 top music in pop music rather.
How about in
they're world leaders.
Influence. How about influence? How about top 25 influential? But remember, influential is the word. They literally influence these crazy people to do crazy
actual things. World leaders. I mean, there are world leaders of major nations that we're putting Taylor Swift ahead of. That is not.
Well, I don't know. If you ask her fans, she is as important as the Pope, if not more important.
I wouldn't even talk about the Pope. I'm talking about like prime ministers and shit. But yeah, the Pope
again, I know the Swifties would say Taylor Swift is more important than the prime minister.
No one has gone to war over Taylor Swift yet.
Yet.
You know how many people the popes over the years have sent to die in wars? Too many. It's not the same. It's just not.
Man.
You have to put that entertainer caveat in. Otherwise, you lose all credibility. She's not more important than like there are business people like Elon Musk.
and her
I
on
don't
the
even
same
like
level.
that guy that much, but that dude is definitely
You
more
saw that
influential than Taylor.
he
He got
appointed a new
replaced. That was one
CEO?
of the stories I was going to talk about, but we kind of ran out of time. But yeah, he's got a new
We,
CEO.
you can say it really quick.
He has a new
Talk to us
CEO.
about. So Elon Musk, who is his new CEO, and is she gonna change the world?
No.
But Elon didn't change the world when he bought Twitter either. So I think that's because Twitter is not a vehicle for changing the world.
Wait, Twitter isn't like the center of the universe?
No, I mean for this show it is, but for the rest of us, we for what's not even for this show, like just for this, like physically for these 2 hours we talk. Me and Matt, we've been outside, we smell the grass. You know what I mean? But
They say 2% Americans are on Twitter, like frequently.
yeah, what is
So,
beyond frequently? Because I'm in that percent of Americans.
I mean, I probably am too,
Probably
but
same.
But I don't know. Like, yeah, no, she's not going to change. It's probably not going to change anything about Twitter, to be honest with you. I think her goal is going to be A, see if she can't make money, or B, see if she can't, flip that thing like a Property Brother. Her and Elon are going to double team it and try and sell it again. I don't, because
I think
they're
their
not
goal
making
is
any
to make
money.
it public again.
Sure, exactly. So she's again, she was the former CEO at NBC, I
I
believe.
don't know.
And so she's got credentials in like,
Yeah, her name is Linda
yes.
Yaccarino.
And so she seems to be a serious choice. Like this is not like Elon getting, one of his buddies necessarily. I'm sure they're close. I'm sure they're friendly because, he's giving her a big company to run. But this doesn't
Should have
seem
been
like,
Mr. Beast.
yeah, this doesn't seem like a Mr. Beast, right? Like Elon
No,
being like,
he wanted to do it.
I'm sure he did. It wasn't like Elon trying to find a funny thing, like to make the internet go
Mr.
crazy.
Beast
This
wanted
seemed
to
like
run Twitter.
he
Yeah,
did
he
not.
commented on like the original CEO post when they said that he found someone. Yeah, he was like that he wanted to do it.
So did Dionne Warwick.
I don't
So
know
there
who
you
that
go.
is.
She's a very famous singer.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't think she's that famous. I don't know who she
She's
is.
very famous.
Who is she sing?
Comments back me up. She's famous. Look of Love is one of her big songs.
Never heard of that.
They're old songs. They're very old. Like I want to say 60s, but that could be wrong.
Yeah,
Could even be earlier than that. Like a Gladys Knight-esque singer.
I know who that is.
Yeah, so think Gladys Knight, but her name is Dionne Warwick. She said she was the new Twitter CEO, and I gave that a like. I thought that was quite funny.
It's me.
It's me, Dionne Warwick, CEO of Twitter.
Is there any other stories you want to talk about or mention?
No, that was my big one. We covered Ja, like friend of the pod, Ja Morant. And Doc Rivers might get fired, but we should wait. That's next time.
Oh yeah, it's he was in his 17th game 7. 17.
I just like,
Lost.
why would you fire someone who's so consistently very good? I mean, I get it because you want to get that last win. I do get it. But it's like that's such a rock and hard place because consistently very good, but not good enough to win. And so you're like, what do I do? What do I do? I think he's gonna get fired though. That's my spoiler for or the teaser for next episode. I think we'll be talking about the new Sixers coach, right? And whatever Doc Rivers is gonna do next.
You might make a point. You might be up to something. And again, keep watching Barry. Ryan, keep watching Succession. Are you caught up?
Yeah.
You watched last night's episode?
Mm-hmm.
Rocky, you gonna watch Succession?
No. I mean, I don't know. Probably not if it's still on. I wait
He'll
for
probably
shows.
watch it later.
Barry's like one of the only show. Actually, it is the only show right now I'm watching that is still being made. I just finished watching Vice Principals. That was a good show.
Oh yeah, it is a really good show. Very underrated show.
Never seen it before.
Danny McBride's hilarious. Walter Goggins.
That's literally all I'm watching. I don't watch a lot. It's all YouTube. Oh, and fishtank.live. That's what you should watch. Go to Fish Tank.
What is that? You have to give people a heads up if it's gross.
It's not gross.
What is it?
Fishtank.live.
But what is it actually a fish tank?
Do you know what Big Brother is?
Oh no, don't. You told me about this. Do not recommend.
You watch Big Brother?
No, it's like Big Brother, except everyone is like socially awkward, and you can pay
Ooh.
money to harass them.
What game
Bad
is
stuff.
this?
It's not a game; it's a website. You can
This
watch.
is something out of a
This is
Black
real?
Mirror episode.
It's real. You can watch.
Wait,
people
wait,
in
what
their
is this?
house, and you
Tell
can
me this
pay money.
website.
Fishtank.live. You have to sign up for it. I can show it to you later.
Look at how quickly Matt turned on his fellow man. Look at how fast that was.
I just want to
Instant.
see. This
Instantly.
is literally
You can pay money to like take their beds away. They bring in new people all the time to harass the contestants, and the winner gets like 35 grand.
oh my goodness.
And then the
I've never
website,
heard this.
yeah, I'm probably gonna buy the season pass, but like it's literally like Big Brother. Like it gets
No way. This is like
awesome.
this is definitely a movie too.
No, they're turning it into like a documentary.
Okay, I can see that.
They should be turning it into a class action.
Ryan, do you remember there was a Stone Cold Steve Austin movie that came out where the premise was that he went out on an island and it was
Oh yeah,
he had to kill you had to kill people literally a last man standing match.
yeah.
And like voted this is this, but less violent.
But that was also fiction. That was a movie, a fictional movie,
True.
I believe. This is not fiction. These people are really there.
Oh, it's so much fun. I can't stop watching it. It's great.
Oh man, good stuff. But yeah, and also sports with Succession. They were trying the Roys are going to decide the election.
Yeah,
not the American people.
I was gonna say like the presidential election
in the show. Yeah,
in the show.
Oh, in the show.
You agree with that, Ryan?
Do I agree with that's what they're going to do?
No. You know, I remember I was reading online commentary. People saying this is a scary episode. Like they're talking like it was a horror movie.
Yeah,
like,
that was nonsense.
Like come on,
it was nonsense.
It's just a part of the show. Like whatever.
I will say this. I mean, I know you're doing a Succession podcast. I think we're allowed to say that here, right?
Still in the works, so we're thinking about it.
Thinking about it.
Way to, you know.
Oh, it's fine.
It's fine.
Spoiler alert, me and Matt talk about content sometimes for the shows that we do together. One of them might be Succession. But there's a lot more to say on that. But I thought that episode actually had a very big fatal flaw that I didn't like at all.
Really?
On the whole, with the exception of one episode, I won't say which one, but anyone who's watched it will know the episode. I've liked season 3 better than season 4. On the whole, I think last season was a better season than this season.
It was a bold move to add that laugh track.
Yes. Doesn't know what we're talking about, but if they added a laugh track to the episode I'm talking about, that would be a bold move. But yeah, so with the exception of one episode, which is the best episode of the series for a number of reasons, I think last season on the whole was better than this. Has been better than this season. They have a chance to turn it around, but I don't know if they will. I don't think they want to. I think I see what they're doing, and I don't know. But we'll talk again. We might talk about it. We might not. Comment if you want us to talk about it, and then we'll do it.
Absolutely, yes. I'll be in touch with the Succession stuff, and yeah, just remember too, the season's all in real time, so it's 10 episodes in 10 days. I think that's an important point.
Yep.
So
wait. You know, I just realized this like Kanye thing, going back to that, is kind of like the Halle Bieber, Selena Gomez kind of spat.
Hailey Bieber.
Yes, it's the same exact thing, and it's getting worse. Friends not trusting friends and people throwing each other under the bus.
That was so old news. God, I can't believe you brought that back up. That was. I've already ranted on this, so I won't go. You look at the first rant.
It just came to my mind.
But the fact that was the story was horrific. And an indictment on the American people and human civilization more broadly.
Yes.
Man, what a great way to end this show. No, seriously, I really appreciate this, Ryan and Rocky, as always. I'm looking forward to the next one, and let's see how much more fun this world is going to get to be talking about. Let's see how much more fun this world will be so we can talk about it.
Fun's a word.
Yeah, it will be more fun, guaranteed.
Oh man, that Fish Tank live! I'm going to see that.
You gotta watch it. It's
I can't.
awesome.
Oh,
They had a
man.
guy on there that had a willy bed speech impediment, and he willy loved.
You
and
can't do that.
Oh,
You can't say
no.
that.
No, that's actually what he sounded like.
I'm sure it is.
Like,
You can't say that because you don't sound that way.
I'm not like making fun of him. I'm saying that was his speech impediment.
It feels a little bit like you might have been.
I'm not making fun of the guy. I follow him.
I
on
think
Twitter.
he's
I
okay.
like all of his tweets. His name was John, and he makes John Tent. It's amazing.
That's actually genuinely a good name for it, John.
Yeah, John Tent's great.
Oh, man.
It's a whole
Actually,
saga.
I would like to become a John Tent creator on social media. Yeah.
Just
I
never
love-
forget to always be productive with it. All right. We'll see you guys soon.
See ya.
Bye.